Greetings, COM 4310. It is my hope that this video finds everyone doing exceptionally well. This week, you all have had the pleasure to review the classical theories of organizational communication. Good old Frederick Taylor. This chapter provides us with a firm foundation of the three classical theories of organizations that still permeate our organizational life in 2015. I come to you all at this point to highlight the fifth objective for Chapter 2. Analyze the classical theories through the lens of the communicative organizational model. Now, we're going to be looking at this CO model throughout the entire semester, and so I wanted to just take a moment and to highlight how the CO model impacts Chapter 2. Viewing the classical approaches through the lens of the communicative organizational model, several things become a little bit clear. First, when we look at the classical theorists, we understand the importance of anticipating a misunderstanding in an organization. However, based on what was happening in organizations during the Industrial Revolution, they relegated those duties to managers. Classical approaches to organizational management were designed more so to help predict and control what was happening in organizations as far as members' behaviors. But what do we as organizational experts understand in 2015? You cannot predict chaos in an organization. The strict structure, the rules, and roles can help reduce the amount of misunderstanding based on your role obligations. However, we understand that these same elements can increase misunderstanding, especially when there's not an open model of communication. Based on mistreatment of workers, we can look at the lack of information and lack of attention that's generally given to human concern. Another element that we want to look at with this objective for our chapter is the social interactions that occur or that do not occur within the communicative organizational model based on our classical theories of organizations. I want to change gears and directions for a moment, and I want to remind you guys that as you're completing your readings for this week, write down your responses to all three of the video diary entries that I mentioned at the end of my announcement from yesterday. The first question addresses one of my favorite company CEOs, Marissa Myers. If you're in any of my classes at this moment, you understand that I have been talking about her for the last week. Marissa became the CEO of Yahoo in 2013, and she took the organizational world by storm. There are several articles out there that discuss her importance in organizational life. She's one of the youngest CEOs. She has recently come in with a firestorm, and the two articles that you have to read for this week discussing the way that we look at maternity as well as paternity leave in organization. And we're going to discuss Marissa a little more in detail as we start talking about leadership in organizations and diversity in organizations, but I wanted to introduce you guys to her right now. I want you to think about her recent actions with maternity leave and how that will impact the way the organization functions. And then I want to say, do you think that the issue of maternity and paternity leave would even impact the way that we looked at organizations during the Industrial Revolution? I am currently completing the grading for your initial video diary entries, and I must say that I'm very impressed with many of your entries. I'm also really impressed with the amount of responses that you all have in terms of greeting people and being able to relate to everybody's individual story. And a way to help me kind of condense the grading and to form more of a community with individuals, I've actually created smaller video diary discussion groups so that you guys can not only have a more intimate setting when it comes to communicating with your classmates, but that you all can also form some type of community here in your class. If you go and look at the left-hand toolbar, you can see that there is a link that says Video Diary Small Discussion Group followed by a number. And so make sure that you click on that link, because when your next video diary entry, which is due September 27th at 11:30 p.m., you're actually going to submit your video diary there. There are 6 groups in the class with 5 members, so it's definitely going to be a more intimate setting. As another form of housekeeping, each week I'll provide you guys with questions to address in your video diary entry, so please be sure to keep up with those questions as the semester rolls along. For this week, you guys have 3 questions that deal with not only the weekly topic, but just happenings in organizational life. I've also placed a new podcast on Marissa Meyer, my favorite CEO, in your course readings folder to provide you guys with a little more background on the CEO that we will discuss throughout the rest of the fall semester. As always, if you guys have any questions you would like to discuss with me, please feel free to call me during my office hours, to send me a Zoom meeting, or to send me an email. And I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Thanks.